What if I told you your biggest opportunity in college is not the campus placements or your GPA? It is the chance to build a startup. It is a chance to be a kid again and relive all the wild ideas that you thought of and try to bring them to life, try to make them useful to people. I'll start with my story first. So, I'm Akshat Dhamija. I'm a second year student at IIT Delhi. And when I came here in my first year, in my first semester, I was a very puzzled kid. I did not know what person I wanted to be. I had some expectations in my mind that within a few months I knew I couldn't fulfill and I knew weren't realistic. But I always had this knack of trying to make an impact and trying to build something from zero that that helped me navigate through my college life so far. My brother Archit and I, he's my cousin, we're the same age. We started just working on random ideas, and fast forward to 1 year, we ended up working on two startups. One that is Karama, and the other one that we worked through the summer. We learned a lot of things, but most importantly, we learned that we did a good thing by starting to build something. I'll just give some reasons as to why I think if you're a student, you should either start a startup or, for whatever reason, if you think that's not possible, you should please start working on a project that you think would be fun. Okay, so reason number one, I think college is the only place when you can experiment with this stuff. You have little to no financial liability. You Everything is paid for by your parents. Secondly, you do not even have to clean your room. Like, let's be honest, I've never cleaned my room. No one does. You do not have to cook your own meals. You do not have to look after your parents. There's little to no responsibility. Let's be honest. Your your only goal should be to learn as much as possible. Not only learn, but learn skills, but learn about yourself. Learn what you're naturally good at, what you naturally love to do. So your risk appetite in college naturally is the biggest it will ever be. You wouldn't be able to take as much risk when you're in a job and when your family is looking for the monthly paycheck that comes from a company. You wouldn't be able to take risks then. So better do that now. Also, because you can fail in college without shame. I'll just talk about me personally. I've failed a lot. While building my two startups during my internship, I've failed a lot, and those were stepping stones to learn something better. To to even deal with failure is a very big task that I think most people do not challenge themselves with, especially when they're students. Of course, the life strikes them maybe later when they're doing a job or when they go out of college. But I think it's just easier to learn that. And when you keep failing and when you keep learning, the cushion just gets softer and you're able to absorb bigger blows. So for college, just a general rule of thumb is fail fast and fail smart, and just learn from your mistakes and go forward. Reason number two, your peer group in university is the most flexible and the most fun it will ever be. And who do you rather work with? People that you have fun with or you align with, or people that are totally different from you, but you just find yourself in the same place because you work in the same company? I think the answer will be the former, and it's just very obvious to that it's easier to make teams in college for your startup or for your projects. Uh, for example, I always had my cousin brother with me, so it was way easier. We align well and we have similar goals, so it was easier to start projects with him and work on them. Even in the college, I study at IIT Delhi, and people on average are really smart here. So I just ask my friends to collaborate with me on my projects, and it just works out perfectly. It's fun. It helps you in learning, and you do not have to pay them. That's the best part about it. In college, no one expects money. Everyone expects that you work equally and you have fun. Reason number three, when you have the tagline of being a student with you, it's just way, way easier to talk to industry people that maybe it would get awkward if you're a working professional and you're at a junior post. I'll just give an example. So I was working on a deep tech startup throughout the summer and through the through my third sem, and I'll tell you what, I talked with people that I would never imagine talking to. I talked with engineers from Tata Materials factory. I talked with various professors from different universities. Uh, just startup founders, people that are launching satellites up in the space, that you'd be very awkward meeting to for the first time because you'd think they're doing something absolutely crazy, and they are. But I just learned that as a student, you have that tag and a cushion with you where people, if you make mistakes in talking to them, and if you're not professional with it, people just let you off the hook. They accept that we're young and we're here to make mistakes. And I think it's a great opportunity to just get the view of the industry and to get the view of the working professionals this way. You'll network with people that you never imagined talking to, but it just happens if you start working on a project or a startup of your own. It is very natural, and that is where you solve your doubts from. You do not Google everything. You ask from people that have worked in the field, that have made those mistakes that you're making right now, and they guide you through the process a little bit. So please use that added tag, that added advantage of being a student, because when you turn 23, you're out of college, you're working in the industry, people will be way more ruthless, and they wouldn't accept your mistakes as innocence. Okay, now point number four. You're in a university setting. You're in an academic setting, right? You have a lot of professors around you that are probably doing phenomenal research. Let me tell you this by experience. Working on a deep tech material science startup, I'll tell you that the most phenomenal research that these guys are working on isn't transferring to the industry. So it is not being commercialized. And I have this very common practice of just at the beginning of SEM, I go to each and every professor and I randomly talk and I ask them, uh, say, you're a 19-year-old in my place at IIT Delhi. What five ideas would you work on in the industry? And their answers usually shock me because their research is totally different from that. So leverage that. Take inspiration from your professor's research and use their help to to make it into a product or a service that could be commercialized, that could be made money out of. Because you'll never get this chance again. There will be no people in the future that are working tirelessly on research and on innovation that doesn't even get applied. You get direct access to it, so you better use it and try to make something good out of it. Okay, now point number five. Point number five is just something that every student should know in India. There are phenomenal accelerators and startup programs that are out there just for students. So the government is providing immense funds for student startups. Forget about government, even private institutes are doing that. I'll just take an example. I'm not sure if people are aware of the Peter Thiel Fellowship Program. Fun fact, the OYO founder, Ritesh, I think his name is, he took that Peter Thiel Fellowship Program. He got $100,000 grant and he just never went to college. He put all that money into OYO and now that is $1 billion company. So just giving you a little bit of an idea that things like these exist to just help you and your projects. There are grants where you do not even have to be registered. You just have to tell them that you're a student and you're working on a fun project that could maybe help people in the future. You can't pursue it right now because you do not have the bandwidth to get registered and run a proper company. There are project grants as well. So I'd say if you do not utilize them now, then when? Uh, and an ending note, I've made several mistakes, and maybe I've wasted a little bit of my time while working on startups. But what I've gained is tremendous. I've gained a network of great friends that are as aspirational as I am. a network of great mentors that are my seniors, that have already worked and gone through stuff that I'm going through right now. You can only get exposed to this when you start building a project or your own startup. uh, I'd heavily encourage everyone to do that. uh, Also, I'll keep posted everyone on how Kayama is doing. Maybe, like I always say, I don't care if anyone even watches it, but it's just a fun documentation journey that I want to capture and maybe look back at 10 years from now. Thank you. So that will be that.